as a drive to watch the Paris Roubaix with some friends. On the Friday, we drove from Manchester down to Folkestone to get the Eurotunnel across to Calais. We drove to France in a Ford Fiesta, nothing special. This bit of the trip I was excited for. I'd never driven on the Eurotunnel. It cost us £223 between four of us. The trip across the tunnel takes 35 minutes. Well organised, and the prices were similar to taking a car on a ferry, so it made sense to get the quicker trip. I found the novelty quite exciting. It was like going on a new form of public transport the first time. We made it to Calais and then we got some lunch nearby. We drove over to Lille and checked in at a Campanelle hotel, which is the French equivalent of a Premier Inn. It cost us £160 for 3 nights. In the afternoon, we headed out to Lille. Never been to Lille before, so I didn't really know what to expect. The first thing I noticed was there were actually quite a lot of cycle lanes around. It looked like a pretty decent place to get around on a bicycle. But straight away, the centre was really nice. I noticed many Flemish Renaissance-style buildings, which makes sense as Lille is in French Flanders, which was part of the historic county of Flanders. In Lille, there are many big public squares with outside dining and drinking. You can find some truly beautiful street scenes in Lille. Spent the afternoon walking around Lille, looking at the buildings. The Grand Depart for the Tour de France this year starts in Lille, and there'll be 3 stages around the region. After wandering around, we sought somewhere to have an evening meal. There's lots of places to choose where to eat and drink in Lille. Lille is considered by some as the beer capital of France, so we had to sample some local beers. We had a nice evening meal out, and then we ended up at a pour your own beer place. We walked back to the hotel, and there's this crazy building next door. Look at these windows. The next day, we went for a run in the morning before heading out to go watch the Paris Roubaix Femme avec Swift. We did a 7-kilometer run and covered more of the city. Before going back to the hotel, we had a coffee and picked up some pastries, then ran the last kilometer back. They were very nice croissants. We hopped in the car and made a 50-minute drive south to the start of the women's race in Denain. On the way, we got some food supplies from a supermarket. We watched the team presentations and the rollout. We watched the first lap in Denain before making the quick walk back to the car, where we drove to our next vantage point. We parked in a nearby village, then made the short walk up to Sector 15. You can read the name on the banner above. This is considered a 4-star sector. They're ranked at 5. Took some festival chairs and a table and made some lunch while we waited for the riders to come through. We saw the breakaway come through and the peloton chasing behind. Till the riders came through, we packed up and did a quick walk back to the car and then made the journey to Roubaix. We made it to the velodrome to see the finish of the race. We were in good position to see Pauline Ferrand-Prévot finish and win Paris Roubaix. Stayed in the velodrome to watch the rest of the riders ride for places. There were some good sprints. After the race, we got some food. Then we hired some Lime bikes and cycled into Lille. Lille has a very good nightlife. Ended up in a nightclub in an old railway station. Then we got Lime bikes and then cycled back to the hotel.